One man's misfortune is another man's opportunity. Now, a Jets rookie has a chance to pop for the first time this season. We'll talk about it. Special guest, Boy Green Daily, now.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Weston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show also available wherever you find your podcast. And today's description with Garrett Wilson likely out for Sunday. More on that in a minute. That opens up the opportunity for Arian Smith, the Jets rookie wide receiver, to finally make an impact this season, which he's been unable to do so far through the first 6 games of the season. Again, we'll talk more about all that later. We do have a full article in the YouTube description down below with quotes, comments, and all that jazz. Feel free to explore. Also, like the video, hit subscribe as you're coming in on the YouTube if that is where you're watching the program. Let's bring in a special guest. He joins us every gosh darn Friday here on the show. He's one of the greatest authors of our generation. It is none other than Bob Lederer, baby. What's up, Bob?
Well, really, Boy Green World wants to know how you're feeling. Are you better?
I am not. I am still sick as a dog. And apparently so here we go. Let's reveal this diagnosis, doctor. And you tell me if you've ever heard of this one before. My son had it first and then it spread to everybody else. It's called the rhinovirus. And we have all contracted said rhinovirus. So I'd never heard of that until the doctor just told us that. So it could take another week. So hopefully it doesn't take that long because good Lord have mercy.
Problem with viruses is there's really nothing you can take for them.
Which is exactly what the doctor said. So, Dr. Bob Lederer, your diagnosis shares exactamundo.
If my wife was down here, she's upstairs at the moment. If she's down here, she probably could give me more info since she's the one who takes care of the kids when they get sick. So,
yeah,
I've heard of the rhinovirus.
Oh, good.
Yeah. You will live.
Oh,
but,
all right. That's promising. All right.
A salute to you for getting up every morning and continuing to do your duty.
I have no other choice. It is what I am absolutely pot committed to do. And I love that some of the Boy Green Coffee Club members are pot committed. Look at Leonardo Santos rejoining the Boy Green Coffee Club. Welcome back, Leonardo. There you go. And Leonardo, you just got yourself a raffle ticket for our contest this month. Appreciate it. The Boy Green Coffee Club is, of course, our YouTube membership group. Become a part of the community, baby. We do every single day Jets programming at 7:30 in the morning, plus content all throughout the day in other facets. But it is guaranteed every day at 7:30. So, Leonardo, thank you very much, sir. And we'll add you to the raffle pile happening here on the program. Well, first off, as we're getting underway here, Bob, let me ask you for a state of the state with the New York Jets in their current position of 0-6. Where are you at right now? Where's your mindset with this?
Well,
Jets
I'll tell you the disappointment to me is seeing the huge progress that New England has made. I mean, they got themselves a quarterback last year. Mm-hmm. Now they got one of the most coveted head coaches. Yeah. And look where they are at the top of the AFC East, and maybe they'll stay there and maybe they won't. But, geez, they beat Buffalo in Buffalo.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
That's quite an achievement. And then I'm here in Chicagoland, and Ben Johnson seems to have turned around the Bears, and that's before Caleb Williams is really totally fixed. He's still kind of teetering on the edge between being good and being great. And if he ever really makes that turn fully, they're really going to be something to watch.
Yeah.
But when you have two very coveted head coaches like Ben Johnson and the guy that New England got, and they've done the work that they've done so far, and look at what's happening with, those teams and their schedules so far, it's a little disconcerting. This has got to be the most trying of weeks for Aaron Glenn.
Man, you just used my magic word. When you were describing all that, the
Yep.
first word that was going to come out of my pie hole was disconcerting. That was
Yeah.
the word I was going to select because here's the thing. New England consensus around the league had a bottom 5 roster in football a couple of months ago, like before free agency, before Mike Vrabel got his hands on this roster. And then it just goes to show you how much a quarterback can mask so many deficiencies on a roster if you believe you have a good one and you can sort of build around him. And that's exactly obviously what's happening here with Drake May. They're, to your point, golden star right now, first place in the AFC East with that direct head-to-head tiebreaker against Buffalo. So at worst, they're gonna split. At best, they sweep the Buffalo Bills, and that second game, of course, will be in New England. So we'll see how they fare that second time around. But unbelievable, which sucks for us, that's for sure. But I'll tell you this. There's been a lot of roller coasters on this journey, and now this roller coaster is about to reach a new low point. Garrett Wilson, very likely to be out on Sunday. Aaron Glenn, which, by the way, all I have to do is respect it. Aaron Glenn is playing, coaching, he's doing coachisms and things of that nature. Adam Schefter reveals that Garrett Wilson's going to miss a couple of weeks. Aaron Glenn, what's the status for Garrett? Yeah, we'll see throughout the week. Is he out? No. We'll keep it posted throughout the week. So does he have a chance to play? Yeah, we're going to see throughout the week. Yeah. So long story short, that is a fancy talk for he's definitely out, but I'm not going to just let the entire world know at the beginning of the week. But Garrett has not, practiced the first 2 days of practice, which is normally not.
What's the NFL rule about when you have to really come clean with the public? I guess
that is, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Friday. So Friday is the final injury report where you have to give a actual designation for the player. And I guess if they really wanted to get cute, they could say like doubtful. And then there's still like a hint of a chance. But yeah, I imagine he will be officially ruled out on Friday, either by the injury report around 4:00 or Aaron Glenn at his Friday media availability goes, all right, I was just fucking with you guys. He's out. There's
you think Arian Smith is the guy that's going to be expected to step up?
Well, here's the thing. And here's the honest truth, Bob. I don't think any one player can fill what Garrett Wilson has because the numbers are ridiculous. Here is the numbers for Garrett Wilson so far this season. And I don't mean just his raw stats. I mean, in terms of target share for Garrett Wilson, he has had a 34% target share in this offense. He's accounted for over 38% of the team's total receiving yardage production of any position. And those numbers obviously jump up even higher if we're just talking about wide receivers. He has 4 times as many targets as the next leading wide receiver. That's Josh Reynolds. He's accounted for 64% of the units receptions, 68% of the receiving yards, and 80% of the touchdowns among all the wide receivers on the Jets. So I don't think there is any single player that can do it. But the 3 guys, of course, you're going to lean on Breece Hall, Mason Taylor, and then the third one is who I just said, hopefully Arian Smith, because Justin Fields admitted earlier this week that he needs to be more aggressive. His uptick, hopefully, in aggressiveness and Arian Smith's ability to run deep down the field, hopefully those two things is where the Venn diagram kisses in the middle. That's what I'm hoping for as a Jets guy.
Well, before the season even started, I talked about the defense and the load and responsibility that it had because it needed to get the other team's offense off the field and give Fields and the Jets offense as many opportunities as possible, since I did not think they were going to be breaking down doors, most of the time. But I've heard the phrase this week, turning Justin Fields loose.
Yes, let it rip, baby.
And I want to warn Jets land out there, be careful for what you wish for. I've seen Justin Fields unleashed, and it can be pretty ugly between I'll tell you what, more fumbles than interceptions. But a turnover is a turnover, no matter how you look at it.
Sure.
And that's my concern. Someone, I think it was Indy, pointed out yesterday, or it might have been Easy, that, hey, Breece Hall can catch the ball out of the backfield. And obviously they've got a good young tight end now. And, Arian Smith or maybe one of the other guys they're going to call up from the practice
Did we lose Bob? Yep. Yep, I think we lost Bob there. Okay. All right. Let me try to see. All right. Bob's going through some technical difficulties. All right, Bob. We'll try to. Excuse me. We will try to get you back in there. I don't know what happened to Bob. I don't know if that was me at first. So, okay, we'll get Bob Lederer back in a second in the middle of his debating. We'll get that back here on the program in just a moment. So Bob Lederer would rejoin us just in a few minutes here, folks. I would say this on Justin Fields in terms of letting it rip. He does have a pick on the season. And I championed that earlier in the year, like, yeah, that's a great sign. But it's also a sign of his conservativeness, which we talked about yesterday on the show. So letting it rip can only hopefully, playing looser, basically, and taking more chances. Because quite frankly, what do the Jets have to lose? They're 0-6, man. So let it fly, get aggressive, try to take some shots. Because the reason why I've been begging the Jets to take shots on offense is because, well, first off, the big plays that could come with it. Obviously, that's sort of self-explanatory. But, like, backing up the defense, you as an offense want to run the football. You want to pound the rock. You want to pound the Brutus beefcake. And everyone in the world knows you want to do that. But if you take shots, they're like, whoa, man, we thought all they could do was run. But every once in a while, they're backing up. That could open up some opportunities here. And, that could back up the defense. That could create some plays. Hey, maybe a PI every once in a while, just give you free yardage. That'd be nice. That couldn't hurt if we could get some of that action. I would also say, like I said, other things. Mason Taylor is a guy I would like to see get some more opportunities. Breece Hall, get him back. Here's a crazy stat. I heard this on Rich Smitty's podcast this week, Flight Deck. The Jets have thrown like 5 screen passes all season, which is like tied for last in the league. How? And then when Tanner Angstrand, because he speaks on Thursdays, all the coordinators do on a normal work week, you get Chris Banjo, Tanner Angstrand, and Steve Wilkes. And Tanner was asked by Rich, like, hey, man, why don't you run more screens? And then Tanner's like, good question. Well, we've called some and, they didn't happen. And, sometimes the game didn't present those opportunities. And I'm like, didn't present those opportunities? You can run a screenplay on any down, any quarter. What do you mean, man? There was no follow-up opportunity allowed because when Rich went to ask a follow-up, someone else asked a question. So then it got lost in the sauce. But, like, you can run a screen pass whenever you want. I don't get that. I'd run them more often, quite frankly. Get the ball out of the hands of JF and put it in the hands of your playmakers in open space and see what they could do. Because, like, every time Breece Hall seemingly catches a screen, it is a big play. So that's very confusing. Don't understand that. So, yeah, Jared B says, Angstrom said, what's a screen? Apparently. Like, that was sort of like the baffledness of what he said. I was a little thrown off. That was sort of odd. All right, I believe we got Bob back, so let's bring our boy Bob back in. Here's some technical difficulties.
J-E-T-S, Jets.
Yes.
All right, we got Bob back. Bob?
You might be sorry. Who knows?
Oh, yeah, so sorry about that. I don't know what happened there, but no, go ahead.
My computer froze up. My wife yelled from upstairs, "You're not on anymore." I said, "Yeah, I kind of know that."
Yeah, right. Well, there you go. Please.
That's why you need a really good, woman in your life.
Yeah, of course. She's clearly, you did well, Bob. You did well for yourself.
Hey, Lynn, when you get a second, tell us about rhinoviruses.
Yeah, please. Yeah, I'd like some more info on that. I don't know what the heck I have never heard of that in my life. So, okay, sounds good to me.
Okay. Anyways, I was saying I hope the defense continues to play like it played last week. I think there were pretty strong signs that it wasn't just a one-game thing because they were playing very well against the run, and they were playing decently against the pass too, and putting on a decent pass rush. And I thought one of the great points made on your show yesterday morning was playing Clemens inside a tackle and letting him basically bruise himself and push the guard into the backfield and allow maybe even to be double teamed so that they can get a better pass rush from around the end. I think that would be a very good strategy. And we'll see, Carolina's got a mobile quarterback. So, he's going to be able to move around. But
Denver had one last week too, and we were able to throttle him, most of the game.
Yeah, so you never know what could happen. Hey, look at this. Appreciate it. Some memberships flying in. Paul Texter. Hey, a 5-pack. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. That is what we're talking about. All right, well, let's reveal the 5 new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club here on the program. Thank you, Paul Texter. You have 11 raffle tickets, so you've launched into our top 5, which is scrolling on the ticker down below. Appreciate it. All right, Paul, here are the 5 new members. We got Sean Murphy, Joe the Jet G, Aaron Daniels, Star Ghost 09, and Thomas Gannett. You guys are all now members of the Boy Green Coffee Club. Congrats to our guy here, Paul Texter. Now, you said, Bob, just a second ago, there are a lot of signs, in your opinion, that the defense that we saw in week 6 that we had clearly not seen in any of really the first 5 weeks of the season. You think that, that wasn't just a blip on the radar, that there are signs that could be something that the Jets can build upon, yes?
Well, the only if that I will put into that is they got very strong work last week at linebacker from a rookie.
Yeah.
Safety from a rookie. And the safety in particular, people have been calling, for Malachi to get out there for weeks, and they threw him out there, and they did a pretty good job. So, you have to build position by position. And as I've said, so many times already, you got to have the confidence that the guy that's playing on this side of you and that side of you is going to be able to fulfill, their responsibilities on any play, whatever that play is. And that instinctively they'll know what to do, and you'll know what to do if something doesn't work exactly the way it's supposed to. And that's really a big responsibility for a rookie, coming in and playing in the NFL for the first time. But no, I have some confidence that they're going to be okay defensively. It may not be world beaters, but they're certainly not going to be the sieve that they've been, in the 0-5, part of the season.
Well, they better not be. Now, I pointed out, and maybe this is going to come back to bite me in the tuchus, but over the next month, I'm like, hey, look who the Jets play. Look at the quarterbacks. Bryce Young. Okay, sort of passed the biscuits. Okay. Joe Flacco. And then I said, Dylan Gabriel. So earlier this week, I'm like, come on, that's not a murderer's row. And then Joe Flacco carved up the Pittsburgh defense like a Thanksgiving turkey yesterday and beat them. And I was like, good Lord, Joe Flacco is renewed. And can't wait. Oh, another revenge game, folks. You guys love those.
Yeah, but did you see this? Did you see the story yesterday before the game last night? Where
who was that?
Pittsburgh's coach said he was not happy that Cleveland traded Flacco to Cincinnati because he basically said out loud, "This guy knows how to beat us."
100%, and you heard that absolutely right.
Yep.
And look what happened. I mean, because basically the Browns made a game much harder for the Steelers, because if they would have had to play Jake Browning yesterday, I imagine the result turns out a lot differently, and Steelers have another game up in the AFC North. Now with that loss, they bring them back down and open up the door for Baltimore. If Lamar comes back after the bye as he's supposed to, all of a sudden this race that looked like it was going to be a runaway, all of a sudden gets right back into the mix. So,
and to me, Jake Browning looks very comfortable with a headset standing on the sidelines.
Yeah, much better than what he did in the game. That is for certain. So, yeah, Mike Tomlin was very upset.
He was not happy. Yep. And last night you saw why.
Yeah, unbelievable. So, Joe Flacco throwing it to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, which I appreciate. I have Jamar Chase in fantasy.
Oh, and you got to give Flacco a tremendous amount of credit. How do you start the week after you get traded?
That is unbelievable.
Okay, even if the systems are similar, it can't be identical between Cleveland and Cincinnati. And yet he could pick up the terminology and run the offense the way he did last night. It's astonishing. You know, what a veteran can do when they got all those years of experience under their belt. And that's what we've been hoping to see from Justin Fields.
Yeah, that's true. And, man, his ability not just to, he goes to the headset and they go blooper 22 red cobra. And then he just mimics the same thing. He is hearing whatever the play is. And then he's seeing the defense and go alert, alert, alert. And I'm like, whoa, he's being able to change the plays. He just got here a week ago. How is he getting audibles? That's impressive.
Yeah. That just shows you. And I wonder if Tyrod could do the same thing. I wouldn't be surprised, if in some situations that he might be able to do that. Let's get back to, Tyrod in last week.
Sure.
I did not to be honest with you, even give a consideration at halftime to replacing Fields. I did expect that they were going to make an adjustment in the offense.
Well, yes.
And we didn't see it. And my wife was asking me after the game, and she doesn't really know a lot about football. And she said, "Well, what's the problem?" I said, "Well, it's our quarterback." And I said, I don't know if he's afraid to throw the ball, or he just gets the hibby-jibbies. Like Chuck Knobloch used to do at second base for the Yankees many years ago, where he just holds on to it. And somebody said yesterday, and again, it was on your show, and I think it's a great idea. He needs to be taught. Look at your first option, and if that person is covered, use your wheels and get the hell out of there. And I think he's got to do that because he doesn't quickly scan the field when the first guy is covered. And the other thing I wrote on one of your boards this week.
Yeah.
If they even keep him for the rest of the season in the off season, he's got to get himself somebody to hike the ball to him, have a wide receiver, and basically 1,000 times a day, take the snap, turn, and in less than 2 seconds, throw the ball. He's got to condition his brain, to do it. You have to obviously add the reading of the defense once you're actually in the game and such.
Of course.
But to stand there, know you're going to get this enormous pass rush. The offensive line, I didn't think did that bad a job. But every time he got sacked, I was yelling along with millions of other Jet fans, throw the damn ball.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we saw that when we were live at the Jets-Cowboys game because of our end zone seats. Most of the time we got to see Justin Fields back. So we were seeing what Justin Fields was saying. We were looking at progressions. We were looking at what he was looking at. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, you've got to let it rip. You need to throw the football. So that led to some issues. So let's see if we see a different version of Justin Fields. How does he respond to the clear adversity? There's a worst passing game performance by a quarterback in Jets history with -10 net passing yards. So how does he respond this week? That I will be very curious about.
Well, talk, as they say, talk is cheap. So
100%.
Let's see him do it, and let's see him do it with some accuracy. which was the problem in the second game of the season. He couldn't hit the side of a barn. The other games he's been in, his accuracy has been pretty good. But you got to put all the pieces together. As I'm watching it last week again, I kept saying to myself, I said this on Boy Green all off season. Mm-hmm. The guy has these 4 or 5 problems. If they could solve 1 or 2 of them, just to get started, they'd have someone who is serviceable, but he's doing the same things that he did in Chicago, and ironically that he did less of in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Bob, is there anything, because I'll open up the phone lines early here on the show, is there anything else you want to get off your chest before we get to the fans?
I never did get an answer from you a couple of weeks ago. Remember I did the story that was in The Athletic.
Oh, yes.
About
the quarterback development.
Why it's so difficult, to get a young quarterback and train that young quarterback, to be, at least potentially what they should be. Did you ever get a chance to read that thing?
I did. Yes. For The Athletic. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And did you learn anything from it that you didn't already know? I mean, I just saw a depth of information there, not stuff that I haven't heard before, but information about why it's so difficult, even for the best, for a Peyton Manning and for an Aikman, such, and learning the systems and having the right kind of coaching, to take this young person, and that includes a veteran quarterback, whether you sit behind him or whether he's on the sidelines with you, on every time they come off the field, and when I hear this week concern about allowing this coaching staff to not only select a quarterback from out of college, but be the ones that are going to train him and prepare him, for the NFL. I have my misgivings about that too. So you got to have the right people, and you have to have the right plan, and you have to have patience, because I think the Giants may even be rushing, their rookie. I mean, they basically gave up. Right. They gave up, on their veteran quarterback, after 3 games? Yes. And this kid may end up being pretty good, but he's going to take his lumps. When I wrote this book,
Oh,
one of
nice.
the things that I learned really was, and I had remembered this, but only faintly, Namath didn't start right away. They deliberately didn't start him, although he was clearly the better quarterback in training camp. And they let Mike Tolliver, be the starter for 3 games or so. And then they tried to break Namath in, and he struggled. He really struggled. As good an arm as he had, he really had problems. So you got to have patience with these guys. Not everybody is going to be like Dan Marino, an all-star who takes you to the Super Bowl. Peyton Manning said he was afraid he was going to be benched and maybe even cut. And Aikman struggled, early on as well. And that's very, very typical.
Yeah, I paired actually when I read that full-length Athletic article, which, by the way, is a good read. I'll make sure we put it in the YouTube comments.
Yeah, do that. Everybody should take a look at it. You'll learn something, maybe not a ton, but you'll learn something about the difficulty, that the greats have, and think about it then in terms of no matter who we try to draft, how difficult that transition is going to be. And I don't think any of the quarterbacks that are, in college now that we might pick, they're not, generational talent, in my opinion. I haven't seen a lot of them, but I've seen enough to have my concerns. And then I look against who they're playing against. Again, They're playing against boys. In the NFL, you're playing against men.
That's true. Yeah, I paired it with this book. It is The Q Factor, the elusive search for the next great NFL quarterback, Brian Billick, former Super Bowl winning coach. And I'll have to investigate this again since the Jets are going to be dipping their toes back in this waters for the draft. But this book, yeah, right. Again, which I did a piece on it. The Jets have invested, Mark Sanchez, who was 5th overall when they traded up for him in 2009. Sam Darnold was 3rd overall in 2018, and Zach Wilson was 2nd overall in 2021. So this will be the 4th top 5 pick that they're investing in the quarterback position over the last 16 years, which is unbelievable to say out loud.
And the only one who really had any success was Sanchez, and that's because Rex put as little responsibility on his shoulder as he could, and basically – he told them, just go out there and don't make mistakes. Just do the basic things we need you to do. But it wasn't until Rex's defense started to wear down that Mark had to take on more responsibility, and that's when it really kind of fell apart.
For sure. Let's get a couple of super chats in here. First off, Aced Up 10, baby.
Wow.
Appreciate you. Good morning, BG and the Coffee Club. Thanks for joining us, Arthur. It's great to have you here on the program. Thank you very much, and good morning to you. And he's got a super chat question as well.
Wow.
Thank you, pal, and you are in the running for our raffle this month, so thank you very much. You have 8 raffle tickets with all your super chats today, so thank you, A-Step, with your previous super chats as well. What's word on Garrett Wilson this week? Again, no official injury designation, but as Bob indicated earlier, we'll either get word from AG. We'll get word from AG either on Friday morning where he speaks to the press, or Friday around 4 o'clock. That's when the final injury report is due, and that's when you get some of those official designations for the game. So, again, my full expectation is Garrett Wilson will be ruled out, and then if he's out or even questionable for the next week against the Bengals, why wouldn't you rest him for that one, get the bye week after that, and then coming back for Cleveland? You'd basically give him a month between football activities and hopefully would give him the best possible chance to be as healthy as possible. So I think Garrett Wilson's going to be out A-Step 10, which is can't be great news for our offense. And by the way, again, I say this deserves another salute for Garrett. He has never missed a game in his NFL career. So if he is to miss this week, this will be the first game missed of his entire career. So he has been available.
I was amazed after the game that very little attention had been paid to the fact that Wilson had been injured. And I immediately thought, oh, my God, next week without him, what in the world are we going to do on offense? And, well, they've had a week to think about it. So let's see how smart Engstrom can be in coming up with, with plays. As you said yesterday, Carolina's defense against the run, well, you said it's like 10th in the league.
It is. It's top 10. Yep.
That shows, we can run if we get, pretty good blocking, and if Brees is healthy. And against the pass, they're, 15th or something like that.
Yeah, so
middle. This is not a world-beating defense, but they beat Dallas last week,
who beat the crap out of us. So
exactly. That's the real fear. Although you can't tell from week to week, as we saw, nobody gave us any chance at all against Denver last week.
And look how close it was. And here's another one, right? Carolina blew out the Atlanta Falcons 30-0 earlier this, and they're like, oh, wow, Falcons stink. Falcons just beat the Buffalo Bills, who beat the crap out of us. So none of it makes any sense. It's why it's any given Sunday. Anything can happen.
That's right. As Pete Rozelle said many decades ago, any team can beat any other team on any given Sunday.
Which makes this business fun, and that why we do all these conversations on a week-to-week basis. So, Arthur, thank you so much for all the super chats coming in. And let's do this. We'll play a quick halftime out, and up next, your phone calls.
1, 2, 3. Whoa! Bowling Green, Buzzing Daily, Buzzing Daily, Buzzing Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Bowling Green, Buzzing Daily, Buzzing Daily, Buzzing Daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. Everyone, J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets. Boy Green, Buzzing Daily, Buzzing Daily, Buzzing Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green, Buzzing Daily, Buzzing Daily, Buzzing Daily. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. Let's go!
You heard Hep. Let's freaking go, baby. Let's go here on the show. Thank you guys so much for the support and appreciate it all here on the program. We'll let Bob continue to work in the green room as he grabs a coffee and beautiful. Let's go to the phone lines here on the show. And wait, I can't bring this guy in without a proper introduction. Bob, can you introduce this guy?
Here's Hef.
There he is. Hey, baby. What's going on?
Hey, guys. Hey, Bob. Hey, Paul. Hey, fellas. Bob, question. Do you think that that AG is going off the rails a little bit? He's feeling the pressure, and I'm concerned. I think that AG got involved with Wilkes' game plan this week more heavily, and I think that's what we had seen the difference in the defense on the heels also of that player-only meeting, and the substitutions. I think all these things helped. But I'm thinking that I'm concerned about Wilkes as far as the game plan is concerned. I don't know if what he's doing is if it's antiquated, if he's doing a modern NFL scheme. What's your take on that?
You didn't have the feeling in the first quarter last week that, oh my God, Wilkes is finally doing something that it's working?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't have any thought that Aaron had inserted himself into the game plan. But what do I know? I mean, I think it would be completely normal if he had certainly sat in on the meetings, not between the players. They obviously had a players only meeting. And I think that was part of what they got the defense going. But on top of that is just, from what I learned from the book that I wrote, is that it's very usual for the head coach to at least sit in and listen and put in his 2 cents. Now, ironically, with those Jets teams, Walt Michaels was there was no defensive coordinator in those days, but he was the head of the defense. And we would come in, and we've had a lot of experience, obviously, with quarterbacks and kickers, and even he had coached defensive line for Paul Brown. But when he would leave the meeting after giving his suggestions, Walt Michaels would tell the players, forget everything we've said. Forget about it. So I don't think that goes on today. There's too many specialists, on the defensive side of things. But, maybe Aaron, certainly had something to say to them. I think it probably would have been more of a rah-rah type thing. I think you saw that Wilkes had made some changes. I don't know what they were. I don't know enough about organized football to know that. But he certainly had them, really playing a lot harder, more aggressively. And I'm not impressed by guys after each play going, yeah, look what I just did. I'm more impressed when they actually make a play and they set the other team back. Get back in the huddle and get ready to do it again.
Exactly. It's like the old Jim, make believe you've been there before. Don't make a big deal about it. Right?
That's Walter Payton's philosophy, and
Barry Sanders, yeah, right.
I think it's perfect. Yep.
Yeah. So, do you think there's any chance that AG might be a one and done?
I had never thought so until this week. He seemed to be not standing up well to all the criticism, and boy, was there a lot of criticism. I didn't see anybody really defending him the entire week for what had happened on Sunday. And by the way, I thought a lot about the first half snafu and such. Yeah. And at the time, I didn't think that what he was doing was wrong because I didn't want Denver to get the ball back either. and yet, Paul, how much time was left on the clock when it was fourth and 8?
That they let the clock just bleed out like
I mean, it was less than
25 seconds and 25 seconds.
It was certainly less than 40 seconds. Mm-hmm. So they could have gone to the line and just yelled any numbers they wanted and let the clock tick down and get out of there.
But a Hail Mary, right? You're at midfield, and while I know it's happened to the Jets on that Black Friday before where it was a pick six, but the chances of that happening are very unlikely. It's more so only going to be either a good thing or a neutral thing. Well, you give your guys a chance.
I think Aaron was afraid he was going to get sacked again.
Well, that's fair. The strip sack thing that's happened all day.
Exactly. He could have lost time would have been out.
But if you can't protect with 3 guys rushing, which is normally how many rush in that scenario, you're 3 versus 5. Maybe that says something else about your offensive line, but still, that's the criticism.
It says, I'm going to correct you. It says something about your quarterback and his inability to get rid of the ball. How many times did you yell at the TV last week? Throw the damn ball.
If you saw me at the game, I was obnoxious. I was going. Throw the ball! Throw the ball!
I heard it.
Yeah, let it go. I mean, come on. And they showed so many replays where you saw an open running back, 7 yards past the line of scrimmage, and the tight end was open about 10 yards past the line of scrimmage. Just look at one guy. Those guys are supposed to get open.
What's with that court? That quarterback class.
If Garrett Wilson, if Garrett Wilson is covered, and you're going to find that out real quickly, because all they do with Garrett Wilson is down and outs anyway right now, for the most part. So quickly look at your running back who is supposed to be open, and he is, and your tight end who's supposed to be open on the other side, and seem to be.
Get the ball to the playmakers. Let them be a point guard.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Let the playmakers, get the yak that they're out there to get.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Hef.
Have a great weekend, Hef.
Yeah, appreciate you, pal. All right, one random thing. We got a super chat coming in here again from Aced Up 10.
Wow.
Keep the super chats coming, baby. We appreciate them. Off topic is Mike Evans playing this week. He did return to practice, and the full expectation from everything I've heard is that Mike Evans will return for Monday Night Football. So all you fantasy football owners out there, Mike Evans back in. So Aced Up 10 and the Buccaneers, for that matter, absolutely enjoy. Before we go back to the phone lines, I just want to say this. With all this hubbub about AG, I think this week is a golden opportunity for AG to strut his stuff. Like, a lot of people have questioned, oh my God, AG looks lost in the sauce. He doesn't look like he belongs. Well, here's his chance to prove it. If Garrett Wilson is out, as everyone outside of AG announcing is out, can the Jets offense thrive without Garrett Wilson? Because a big feather in the cap of the previous coaching staff was when they played the Eagles in that Week 6 game. The Eagles were 6-0 or 5-0, and the Jets stunk at the time. They were like 1-3 or something. And ahead of that game, Sauce Gardner was ruled out and DJ Reed was ruled out. And Eagles fans and the Eagles team were talking all kinds of crap late into that game, like, oh my God, we are going to destroy the Jets, and Jalen Hurts is going to go crazy. And the Robert Saleh and Jeff Roberg got into a room and came up with a brilliant defensive plan with no names at corner, and they were able to stifle the Eagles, and the Jets beat the Eagles for the first time ever. And that was a massive feather cap. Wow, look at the coaching job that Saleh and Ulbrich and all those guys cooked up. So now we go to the other side of the ball on offense. If AG and Tanner Engstrand are able to figure something out with, oh boy, Josh Reynolds, Alan Lazard, Tyler Johnson, Arian Smith, and a couple of practice squad call-ups that are going to come, I think AG's going to get a big feather in his cap. Like, whoa, this guy, everyone accused him of not knowing what he's doing. Oh, he does know what he's doing. Look what he was able to craft up in this game. Now, the 3-3 Carolina Panthers are not the 5-0 Eagles from a couple years ago, but still, the Jets are winless. So I think this is a golden opportunity for AG to strut his stuff.
By the way, I have this information about rhinovirus.
Yeah, sure, please.
Okay. They are passed along through respiratory droplets. So every time your son sneezes or his nose is dripping and you're cleaning it off, has your fiance also been hit with this?
Yes, the entire family's been taken out.
Runny nose, sore throat, and cough. Most people recover in 7 to 10 days. It sounds like the IL. It can cause more severe illness in those with weakened immune systems.
Well, my immune system is mucho strong, so hopefully that's not an issue, but I guess we'll see what happens. All right, let's go to the phone lines. There's plenty of people trying to call into the show. Let's start off with Badshaw here on the program. Badshaw?
Badshaw, you're looking good this week.
What's going on, fellas?
Oh, yeah, great crotch.
You are?
Yeah, good crotch shot there. Anywho, Badshaw, what's going on, man? Your wife must be very pleased.
Oh, I'm driving.
No, okay, yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm driving through one of the smallest. But we. So my question is, what's the Panthers' record right now?
3-3.
3 and something.
3-3.
They don't
3 and
play
3.
well. Don't
Okay.
play well on the Badger. They
Correct.
don't play well on the road.
Yeah, they're 3-0 at home, 0-3 on the road.
Okay, so who have they beaten? Who are those 3 wins?
The Cowboys, the Falcons, and the Dolphins.
2 out of 3, pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm thinking the Falcons are wishy-washy, and I mean Dallas curb stomped us, but I think Carolina kind of proved last week the Dallas isn't that. I just don't think Carolina's a very good football team. I think a lot of these lower end teams. I said this a couple of days ago when I called in. You know, I didn't want us to be like the worst team in football this year, with there being so many crappy teams, and it's like all these crappy teams are playing each other. You know, and so I don't know. I think we can definitely win, but
sure.
I mean, Garrett Wilson being out, that scares the crap out of me, because
if we can get some turnovers, for once, I'd like to see the offense then go to the line of scrimmage, and assuming they're in Carolina's territory, that they go for it on the first play, and not just sit back and run straight up the middle again.
No, I mean, everybody knows it. Everybody knows we're going right up the middle, and I'm just saying, which I was saying this, I can't really say it this week because Garrett's not playing, but when you have a player like Garrett Wilson, sometimes you just got to throw it up and see what happens. And I'm like, I've never seen a quarterback who's not thrown an interception all year be so freaking cautious of throwing the ball. Like, I mean, unless he's just trying to not throw an interception all year, if that's his goal. But I'm like, if you're throwing for 40 yards a game, I'd rather be throwing interceptions than throwing 40 yards a game. In my opinion.
Don't forget that in preseason, Aaron Glenn talking about the fact that he didn't feel Justin Fields had ever been let loose to be a quarterback. Yeah. And he's playing exactly, to me, like he played in Chicago a couple of years ago, except he's playing it still very close to the vest because he is afraid of making a mistake.
And here's the thing, boys, because Bob just said this, you know, like, oh, man, hopefully we could get a couple, or you, Badshaw, with a couple of takeaways. The good news is that the Panthers have the third most giveaways of anyone in football. So they are a loose biscuit with their fumbles and interceptions. That should provide, hopefully, short fields. That'll be easier, right? If the Garrett Wilson-less Jets offense is to go 30 yards as opposed to 70, that increases our chances, hopefully, of scoring some field goals and touchdowns. So I think that's another part of it that should help.
They played last week like, okay, we're deep in the other team's territory. Let's not blow it, and let's get at least a field goal here.
Sure.
And that's
right.
fine if, it's really early in the game. But once you get into the game itself, you got to do a little bit a more aggressive, style of play than that. And you got to try to score a touchdown. If you don't, you're never going to get a touchdown. The chances of Brees breaking a tackle and going 65 yards for a touchdown, is not very high.
No, that's
and you get all this pass interference with someone like Garrett Wilson, who obviously is getting double coverage. And if you can throw it in the area at least 2-3 times a game, they're going to drop a flag, for interference. Garrett doesn't interfere with the other team very much at all, even that horrible call in Miami. But come on, when they're double teaming him like that, somebody's going to hit him, when they shouldn't, or get in his way, or put his hands in his face instead of trying to go for the ball.
Yeah, and the only time the other day, the last game, that I was like, let's just settle for a field goal, was at the very end, where I was like, you got to let your more consistent player from the game do their thing. And Nick Folk, I mean, I don't care if he's never kicked. I don't care if it was 65 yards. The way Fields had played, I was rolling the dice with Nick Folk. And I might get, my favorite number is 6. I might be getting me a Nick Folk jersey by the end of the year. He may be the only guy, the only guy worth getting. We'll see. But I do have one last question. So
Sure.
And y'all's takes may be different on this, but so Garrett, and we do know for sure he's for sure out this week, right?
It's not official, but everything in the world, all the stars and planets are turning to him being out. So it's not official yet, but wink, he's out.
And likely for 2 weeks.
Yeah, probably, and even longer than that, I guess, technically speaking, because we have that bye week after that. So the earliest he could probably return is the Browns game after the bye, which is mid-November.
Okay. And I knew yesterday on fantasy it said he was doubtful, so I knew that usually isn't a good sign. But right. So my question is, who is the receiver tight end to watch this game? Out of what we've got to work with, who do you think, if someone does have a big game, who do y'all think it will be?
Again, I've been talking about it on the show. Too. Yeah. I think there are 3 names to pay attention to, and I'm not. Maybe one of the names will be somewhat surprising, but the other 2 aren't. So Mason Taylor, Brees Hall, obviously, those guys getting fed more. But the straight up receiver, to me, it's got to be Arian Smith. All the other guys are just old, big, and slow. So Josh Reynolds, Allen Lazard, and Tyler Johnson just don't do it for me. So I think it's Arian Smith. Give him a chance. He has 4 catches for 24 yards this season, which is inconsequential production.
Paul, from the conversations you had this week with the guys from Carolina.
Yeah.
Did you get any impressions about how good their linebackers are?
Their front seven's pretty solid, but no, I mean, they don't have. I'd have to double check their depth chart. I don't remember them championing their linebacking core. Which again, I got their depth chart in front of me now. Let me see who they got. Yeah, they got Trevin Wallace and Christian Rosenblum, and then they've got a lot of rookies in there like Nick Scorton. Excuse me, Nick Scorton is a rookie, so they got a couple of rookies. So it doesn't look like
they got. Wait a minute, they got Rosenblum.
They do have Rosenblum.
As my father used to say to me growing up, Jews don't play football; they own the team.
Okay, I'll let him know that.
Yeah.
So, what do you think, Bob? You thinking?
I think the key is. I think the key is, can they get a decent running game, and then use the 2 running backs that they've got, both of whom can catch the ball out of the backfield. You got 2 tight ends because they've used Rucker, in some key situations this year. So, I mean, I don't think you can count too much on the wide receivers, but you're going to have to keep the defense honest and throw them the ball.
Yep, I agree. Thanks for your takes, fellas. Bob.
And one more thing, Carolina's quarterback is very short. And
yes, and I've bitched about that a lot, about how short he is.
Get your arms up and make it as difficult for him to see, players downfield as you can.
Exactly. Hurt the little guy. But yeah, Bob, I'll try to call in next week. It's my anniversary, 5 years, so I'll try to call in.
Hey.
See you in the wife, so.
Happy pre-anniversary.
Yeah, 100%.
Thank you, fellas. I'll let y'all get the other callers.
You have a great weekend.
There he is, Badshot, joining us. And yes, I met his lovely bride at the Jets Cowboys tailgate. And wow, 5 years. Cheers to Badshot, baby. What do we have for this? Let's give him one of these. Sure. 5 years. Beautiful. Congratulations to Badshot and the lovely. That is absolutely terrific. All right, let's jump back over to the phone lines. It's your favorite, Bob Milan.
Good morning, gentlemen. I hope you had a good Sukkot and Simchat Torah, Bob. You see,
I
me
hope
and
you had a
we
good
get
time
shoes on
dancing with the
together.
Torah.
Okay. First of all, happy anniversary, Badshaw, 5 years. Paul, are we going to get to 5 minutes or not yet? Okay. I'll just leave it at that. 2 comments before we talk about the Jets. First of all,
now are any of them going to be semi-positive?
no, this is not even about the Jets. So
Okay.
these are the 2 comments not about the Jets.
Okay,
Trust
good.
me, when we get to the Jets, my true colors come out. 31 of 47, 342 yards and 3 touchdowns for Grandpa Flacco last night. It's quite impressive, Paul.
Very.
How many
Very.
times did he Alon, I didn't get to see the game. How many times did he get sacked last night?
I think 2 times.
That's
Yeah,
not bad
yeah.
for,
He
for,
was
a guy, for a
fantastic.
guy who can't.
Oh, yeah, he was awesome. Very
He was-
A guy who
decisive.
can't move. That's good.
Don't worry, that's going to happen next week when the
Oh,
Jets come
God.
to town. Trust me.
Oh, Jesus.
Number 2, I was disheartened by the reworking of the Kurt Signetti contract yesterday. That killed me. That just absolutely killed me. Because
That's
he
over.
was my number 1 going into next year if the Jets were going to send AG packing.
Mhm.
To go from $8 million a year to $11.6 million a year, that's quite a jump for a guy who's been there 2 years. So again, he was a guy I wanted, and unfortunately, he will not be a Jet. Now on to the Jets. As far as Aaron Glenn is concerned, when we talked about the coaching search last year, was not really too thrilled about the candidates. Again, I wanted a young offensive guy, and I knew Ben Johnson wasn't coming. I knew Cliff Kingsbury wasn't coming. I knew Liam Cohen wasn't coming. Aaron Glenn was a guy I wanted out of all of them. I didn't want to retread. But honestly, I never thought that they would give him this much power. I really didn't. It's laughable that he's answering personnel questions on whether guys are getting traded at the deadline when your team is 0-6. That's a big, big red flag.
So wait a minute. So is your criticism that he should basically say, "Listen, I'm not the GM"? That's
Yes,
not
I
my
think he
area?
should. I think he should deflect it. The idea that he's 0-6 and he's worried about whether Breece Hall is going to be here in 2 weeks.
Well, he was asked. He didn't volunteer stuff. He was asked.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to learn how to. One thing I'm shocked. He's been in the football game for 25 years. He's been in the coaching business for 12 years. I know this is his first head coaching job. Sometimes you have to learn how to play the media. And unfortunately, I don't think he's done that well at all.
Do you like the brusque attitude that a
I don't.
Belichick and a Parcells?
I don't
display?
because
I mean,
he
they're
hasn't
two of
won
the best
anything.
coaches of all time.
He hasn't won anything. Sometimes, again, when Bill Belichick won his rings, he had a right to be an asshole. Okay. Once he lost, people tuned him out real fast. So
But
when you're
wasn't-
0-6 and you come across as an asshole, and you did so in preseason, people will tune you out real fast.
In fairness, I have no idea what this first part of what I'm going to say. Was Belichick an asshole before he won the Super Bowls, or as he won the Super Bowls, he became an asshole? You know what I mean?
I don't think he was. You know what? Actually, I think when he got canned in Cleveland,
Mhm.
I think he became somewhat humble.
Oh, okay.
And then when he won in New England, he knew that his true personality could come out. Sometimes I think a coach needs to play the media as a friend before you actually accomplish anything. And again, I criticized Glenn during preseason because he was coming across as very combative, and I didn't understand it. And now you're 0-6, and now you're picking fights with media members who are asking you legitimate questions on your quarterback. That's where I think he has lost me, completely lost me. Okay. The only way he loses his job is if they win 2 or less games and the building in November and December is a ghost town. That's the only way he loses.
Well, I think it's also going to have a lot to do with how they play. If they continue to play so poorly without any real fire, and they display ineptitude, particularly on offense, and they never can get out of that mold, then yeah, I think he's in trouble, and you can't just blame it on the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, 2-15. You know what? I understand what you're saying, Bod, but 2-15, no matter how you play, is 2-15. If they have the number 1 pick in the draft, I have absolutely no confidence in this regime picking that quarterback and developing it. I just don't. And unfortunately, I don't know if they're, unlike New England last year, who had a guy in mind in Vrabel, I don't know if there's a guy out there that off the top of my head, I say, he's the guy I want, and he's the guy who would take this job.
Yeah, but
Again,
Vrabel was so obvious that
it was so obvious.
Even fans knew that that's a guy that the Jets and everybody else would want. And the same thing goes with Ben Johnson. He was in demand, and every sincere professional football fan that rooted for a team that needed a coach said, "Oh, if we could just get him, that would be ideal." But it's when you get the other guys, the Liam Cohns and
agreed. I think the only guy to me that would make sense if they have the number 1 pick in terms of developing a quarterback, if they turn the page, would be Cliff Kingsbury, because he's developed quarterbacks in the past, and maybe he has his eye on a Lenore Sellers if they drafted number 1, and he could say, you know what, I can work with that guy. We need a guy to come in, if they can, Glenn, and have his hands on the quarterback and have experience with that. And I just don't see anybody else besides a young guy like that who would make any sense. And finally, as far as this Sunday is concerned, over under is 41.5. The only way the Jets win this game is if the game is low scoring. I just don't see them scoring any points. I don't know how they score points. This is like a 13-10 game for them to win. By the time, if the Panthers get over 20, I don't think the Jets have any chance of winning this game. None. 0. Because I don't think the Jets will score. I don't. As much as people criticize the Panthers, I think their front seven is actually pretty good. And are you excited about the Arian Smith JC Horn matchup? I mean, come on, you got to be kidding me.
Let's go, baby.
That's laughable. Okay, but again, either they're 1-7 at the break or 0-8 in the break. I think they'll lose next week, no matter what. I mean, that line, I just looked for a second. That line started at -2 next Sunday in Cincinnati, and right now it's at 4.5. So
Cincinnati is horrible.
Cincinnati is horrible, but Cincinnati will score. You watch their offense yesterday.
With Flacco. So you think Flacco is heaven sent?
Based on last night's game.
He knows how to beat Pittsburgh. And I'm not saying that he isn't a good professional quarterback. Obviously, he is, but he's a statue.
But they will throw. He will throw for 300 next week against the Jets.
Oh, Jesus,
he will. Okay. But always a pleasure, guys.
The pleasure is always yours.
It is, and Paul, again, listen to Badshaw. 5 years is not that bad. Okay, it's not. Don't worry. You can get married now or maybe in 5 years, but finally put a ring on the wife, okay? Please. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
There he is, Alon. And by the way, let's give a quick shout out. Look at this. Badshaw and Laura, baby. Yeah. There you go. 5 awesome years. Shout out to Badshaw and Laura there on your screen. Absolutely terrific. And I believe they took this at our tailgate. So hell yeah. Badshaw, congratulations, buddy.
But, Paul, you must point out there are 3 things in that picture.
All right. Okay. Jack Daniels, I see, in Badshaw's hand. There you go.
Yep.
Beautiful Jets jersey on Laura. That looks great. And I see a light pole up there. Yeah. What else am I missing?
That's it.
Okay. Well, there you go.
The Jack Daniels.
I see. Yeah, that's looking good. That's looking phenomenal. All right, let's jump over to the phone lines. Plenty of people want to jump in on today's program. By the way, real quick, we have 300 people in the room, but 100 of them are on YouTube, but we only have 45 likes on YouTube. What the hell are you guys doing out there? It's right there in front of you. I'm talking to you, YouTube people. StreamYard tells me how many people are on YouTube, and I see there's 100 of you, but 45 likes. Literally, the like button's right there. Show some love for the Gascon Show.
I must say, getting back to Alon for a second, he was very tame today.
Very tame. And
I wonder what he's been imbibing to keep him so calm.
I don't care. Keep doing it, Alon. Keep sipping. And hopefully that helps. We can only pray. And again, folks, like the video, hit subscribe. That's a free way to contribute to this program. Up next, look who's back. It's Philium, baby. FL Phil 98. What's up, brother?
Good morning, gentlemen. As far as Alon being calm, when you're right and you know it, and you've got everybody bowing at the waist, you can just chill and take it all in.
Yeah.
The one of the main reasons I called in was to give homage to the great Alon.
Wow. Okay.
But and if he wants to jump back in, I would love to chat with him directly. Actually.
I don't see him on, but if he comes back in, I'll let you know.
Okay. One of the things about this year that has really crushed me is we're always snake bit, right? We all know that. And we always seem to find ways to lose and all. And as bad as they have been, and it's been dreadful.
Yeah.
A 60-yard field goal at the clock beat us. Okay. The choice not to kick a 60-yard field goal, and as horrible as they played in London.
Yeah.
It could have still, I'm not even saying if they didn't have the penalties and they didn't have the turnovers and if Justin Fields wasn't so bad, there's still 3 games. We so easily could have won with this entire team sucking. It's amazing.
We almost beat Tampa, with a second string quarterback.
Well, that was the third of the 3 that I'm saying, I'm not even trying to say if they clean up the penalties and if this wasn't this and this wasn't that. With all the horrific play, we could so easily have 2 or 3 wins right now. And what I'm really trying to say is for once, I think the football gods have been giving us break after break and we won't take them. Is it a matter of learning how not to lose or learning how to win? Hello, Alon.
Well, look at this, Philium. You rub the genie lamp, and he appears.
In my next life, I would like to have the cool and calm demeanor of Mr. Philly.
I don't know. I think I like the other Alon better.
My mother-in-law is in the other room, so I have to be a little bit nice. Trust me.
Of course.
The dick will come out.
As Philly already pointed out, it's easy to be calm when you're right every week.
That's also true. So, Philium, you have things to say to Alon, please.
Sure,
go ahead. We'll tune out and we'll let it be a personal
conversation. Oh, my God. I don't need this.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, all right. So, Alon, first of all, I don't know if you heard what I said prior to this, but, we've always been snake bit, can't get a break. Seems like we find inventive ways to lose constantly. And with all the horrible play, we could have easily won 2 or 3 games to this point. I feel like we finally actually have been given a ton of breaks and still can't find a way to win a football game. It's astounding. The one thing I wanted to clear up with you directly was the debate over Justin Fields. And all I was ever really trying to say, it wasn't about cockeyed optimism or anything. It was hopeful that if he could just give us adequate quarterback play. And you said, what's adequate quarterback play? Throwing the ball when a guy's open, maybe, and I do believe that they should use his legs more. I think there should be some design runs. From the get, my perspective on him was, if this is a guy who can keep you in the game, not make a ton of mistakes, pick up a big third down when you need it with his legs. All right. Or keep a drive going or pick up 5 yards to put you in field goal range. Okay. On that third down where we tried to pick up 8 and got nothing, if he had run for 5 and it's a 58 yarder instead of a 63. You know what I'm saying? There's so many things that just with just little luck, a little change, a little adequacy could have made him competitive, was all I was hoping for. And what I was also hoping for is he wasn't going to be just a bridge, but maybe a little better than that. And obviously I was wrong. You were right.
I don't need to be right. I don't want, trust me, people say, oh, you want to be right. I don't want to be right. I would rather watch this team win. It's really frustrating to watch incompetence from the top to the bottom of this organization. It's very hard to watch. And as bad as Justin played last Sunday, and he was putrid, I can't blame him. I have to blame the coach, because any other coach would have taken him out at halftime. It made no sense for him to stay in the game. Again, he looked petrified out there. He was holding onto the ball for 4, 5, 6 seconds. Again, he took 9 sacks, and I think 7 of them were on him. So I can't blame him. He's a very limited quarterback, does not read well at all, doesn't go through progressions well at all. But this is where you need a coach who I assumed Aaron would have experience being in the coaching game for about 12 years, that you have the wherewithal to take him out, and he never did. And that's what frustrated me the most about last week.
And his answer for why he didn't do it, he's going to destroy his confidence.
It's ridiculous.
You can make replacements and put him back in this week, and still make the quarterback change. I mean, that's what the best coaches do.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. But I appreciate the compliment, Phil, and I'm going to head out. But again, I enjoy listening to you. Quick, you are the voice of reason. Okay.
Well, thank you. And real quick, shalom Shabbat.
Shabbat shalom. Absolutely.
Okay. And lastly, as far as AG goes, going all the way back to the summer, we were all saying, trust until you can't trust.
He's getting to that point right now.
He is pushing that line big time.
Yeah.
All right. It started with the signing of Stevens. A lot of people raised an eyebrow. That was a bust. All right. And we could go on, and I'm not going to do that. But week after week, he throws another log on the fire of the hot seat. And I don't want that. I don't want that at all. I wanted this guy. Here's a guy who wanted to be here, who wanted to turn this around. And I'm just astonished at how inept he has been to this point.
It's kind of sad to watch, especially a guy that you rooted for as a player to be this inept. Again, you look at you can compare it to what happened at St. John's with Chris Mullen. Chris Mullen was brought in to be the savior, and he proved to be inept as a coach. And unfortunately, it looks like Aaron Glenn seems to be running the same path. But gentlemen, it's been a pleasure.
In a lot of sports situations, the best players are not at all good coaches, because it comes easily or naturally for them. And I mean, as a kid growing up, I remember Ted Williams becoming the manager of the Washington Senators. Now that was a challenge to begin with, but they made the point after not too many weeks that what was Ted Williams going to teach? To guys who really weren't capable of playing that well.
Well, that was the old adage of those that can do, those that can't teach.
Yeah.
And Ted Williams, but Ted Williams wasn't a coach, a scout, a bench coach, whatever for a third base coach or whatever for 5 or 10 or 15 years, and then became manager. With Glenn, what appeared to be the perfect building blocks, where he appeared to be ready for this and wanted it desperately. So, we were all excited. I think for the most part, I don't think there was a lot of people who were disappointed with this hire. And I think he's been given the benefit of the doubt a lot. And we all kind of said, hey, man, we're just going to trust that they know what they're doing. And, they see something in this guy they think they can fix, or, whatever it is. So far.
But Justin Fields showed the first week of the season that he could get rid of the ball quickly and accurately. And
I agree.
Since then, we just haven't seen it. And when he can't spot a receiver or can't let go of the ball or whatever, it's either a lack of preparedness, not being smart enough, not being able to see the field, Basic traits that a quarterback has to have. And yet Aaron Glenn, and Ekstrom, they put their reputations on the line by saying we're getting rid of Aaron Rodgers and we're going to bring in this guy. We have confidence in this guy.
Absolutely. And that's exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about is, okay, that's what they think is the right thing. There was a lot of debate. Should we bring back Aaron Rodgers or not? I was in the camp to let him go simply because it had been such a abysmal failure. And I thought, especially the whole, like when he said himself, he admitted that when they said, you want to play football? He said, I'm interested. You know what? Fuck you. There's the door. Okay. I actually loved that attitude. Listen, you want to be here? You want to help us win? We want you here. I'm interested. You know what? Bite me. Get out of here.
They didn't invite him in to get that answer. They invited him in to say, we appreciate you. We want to give you all due respect. And we want to let you know early on we're moving in another direction. And frankly, I thought that was very disrespectful, having him fly in from the other end of the country to spend 15 minutes and tell him, see ya.
I will say this, again, I think that if they would have just said, hey, text Aaron Rodgers, you up, you out. Like that would have been disrespectful. Aaron would have immediately gone to Pat McAfee show and said, look at this stupid, unbelievable organization, classless, giving me, the Hall of Famer, a text that I'm out. Unbelievable, or phone call or anything. So I think the Jets were stuck. Either way, however it happened, he was going to come off that they were going to be disrespectful, whether he flew out, they flew him out, whatever, or it's a text or call. All of it would have ended up in the same pot. But I agree with Philium that Aaron was cute. Like Aaron Glenn said, hey, do you want to play football? And he's like, Aaron says, I'm 100% in. Who knows how the conversation goes? When someone gives an off comment, things can all of a sudden spark in a different direction very quickly. So I don't know if the Jets intent was
but Paul,
5-10 minutes in and out.
Is Aaron without McAfee this year?
Is
that because of Pittsburgh and what Tomlin told him? Or is it Aaron Glenn saying, you know what, I got to be all in. I got to be totally focused and concentrated.
It's totally on Pittsburgh. I don't think Aaron reached that conclusion on his own.
Well, listen, as far as that goes, we're never going to know exactly what took place in that room. Okay. So there's your side, my side, and the truth. And what I believe is that if he had come in there and said, hey, man, I came here to win a Super Bowl. Let's get this done. All right. I got to believe that there was at least a chance that the Jets were going to keep him. All right. I believe Aaron Glenn, who has not earned the right at this point to be this guy, but he is a no nonsense. I'm the boss. I didn't like that answer. Get out of here. I really believe that's what it was all about. I don't think they called him in, told him to fly across the country to fire him. I really don't. I think they wanted to have a conversation. They wanted to know where his head was at. They wanted to talk about, what the plan might be if he did come back. And I just think he, right from the get, was, kicked back with his arm around and said, I'm interested. And they were like, you know what? I'm not interested anymore. So that's my take.
I believe that Aaron Glenn called him in, and Aaron never really wanted him there because he was looking at this longer term. He didn't want to go for a one-year solution. I think he wanted to try to build a team. He knew that there was work that needed to be done, players that needed to be acquired, coaching that needed to be done. And I don't think that he was sold on Aaron Rodgers, who was only going to be a year, maybe on the outside a second year.
But isn't that what Justin Fields is?
Yeah, but I think their hope was that Justin Fields would show enough that they wouldn't have to go out and draft a quarterback, and they could coach this guy up and make him
what the key phrase,
a more likely long-term solution.
You know what the key phrase in everything that was just said is? I think.
Well, that's true, 100%.
So it is what it is, right? We don't know, but
we don't know.
Again, that's water under the bridge. And at this point, we're looking at Aaron Rodgers having great success, and our guy is a statue who's afraid to throw the ball. That's not good.
And Aaron Glenn telling everybody every week in Pittsburgh, boy, I'm glad I'm not in New York.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. He certainly got the last laugh. Let's face it.
Yeah, that's for sure. Philium, it was great to have you back on the show, buddy. Good to see you. I see you all the time in the comment section, always celebrating. Badshaw's on. You're like, Badshaw emojis, baby. I'm like, yeah, there's Philium in there. So I love it, Phil.
Yeah, Badshaw and Laura are great people. I talk to them on the phone sometimes. They're wonderful. So Shout out to Badshaw as always, and to the entire coffee club. There's a great group of guys here. You guys are amazing. I hope to be at one of those tailgates one day.
No, it's going to happen for sure. Philyev gracing us with his presence, one of the best. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Up next, another legend. Kyle Clifton joins us. What's up, Kyle?
What's up, fellas? How are you?
Hey, man.
Hey, morning, Kyle.
So, Boy Green, there's no rush. I got married in my early 40s.
Oh, okay, sweet. Plenty of time.
It'll be 12 years in February.
Oh, congratulations. Early, yeah.
It was kind of now or never for me. We had 2 kids in the 2 or 3 years after.
Yeah.
You've already got that part done. That's the hard part. So, no rush. Listen, 2 things. I think we're starting to evaluate Glenn. The early results have not been great.
Right.
How do you evaluate Darren Muji? Because I think we all liked the Briggs and the Harrison deal and Brownlee.
Yep.
And we had a good week, a kind of a breakthrough week for some of our mid-round picks last week.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Francisco Mauigoa looked great. Yeah. Good
and the early returns on the draft in the early rounds have been pretty good so far.
Yeah. So, we have to let the season play out. Unfortunately, there is no scenario where we get rid of Glenn and keep Muji.
I don't think so either. If you're going to cut it out, then you got to cut it out from stern to stem.
Right, exactly right.
Yeah, but they may give Muji the opportunity to make the choice of who he wants as the coach. You don't think that? You don't think that's a strong possibility?
No, it's possible, I guess, because Glenn was hired first. But I just hope they keep it together. That's where a lot of the Jets' issues have stemmed from for the last 15 years. Is the head coach and GM not being on the same timeline or being hired in different places, and it's this constant teeter-totter. So I love that we've now linked it, and it's Glenn and Muji. I know they weren't hired exactly at the same time. It normally does not work exactly that way, but they're connected. They're both hired in the same offseason, so they're on the same page from that perspective. I hate when we start doing this thing that has not proven to be successful in recent Jets history.
If the team has enough success for us over the next 11 games, then we're keeping them both.
Well, of course. Yeah.
If we end up with 2 or 3 wins, we're more likely getting rid of both of them. So my other point had to do with just kind of piggybacking on what you were saying about game plan and solid with the defense against the Eagles and what they do this week against the Panthers on offense to maybe scheme up a victory. So if you see Arian Smith as a guy who at least commands your attention, maybe this is the week to get Jelani Woods activated. Go with and a lot more 3 tight end sets, and just tell Justin Fields, 2 reads or throw the ball away on a passing play, and we're going to have some design runs for you. We're going to be running the ball heavy, but we're going to take 3 or 4 shots down the field to keep the Panthers honest, and let's see if we can win that way, because we haven't really tried that yet. I want to see heavier sets. I want to see us imposing our will on a team to the extent that we can. Let's try it. And if it ends up being that we're only throwing the ball 10 or 12 times a game, let's make those count. So that's basically I've always thought that was kind of the recipe for this team to have any kind of success, and we haven't quite gotten there yet. I don't know if it's lack of confidence in the quarterback or just him not performing to the extent that we thought he would. But we got to get there, because if not, this entire regime is going to be out the door. And I appreciate your time, guys.
Wow. Thank you, Kyle. Man, good stuff there on Jelani Woods call out. I love the creativity. We haven't really seen Jelani. He has been active for a game or 2 so far this season, but we haven't seen him beyond that. So that's a good call out. I like that.
That's not a promising sign, unless there's something physically wrong with him.
Yeah, that's also true, which he has had medical issues throughout his career. So I'm not sure if that's a factor, or is it playbook knowledge, or he's buried on the depth chart with the other tight ends that have been performing. Ruckert had been performing very well.
Playbook knowledge after 6 weeks or 7 weeks is not promising.
No, definitely not. But I'm speculating. I have no idea what the reason is. He may not have been on. But it is a Friday, so you got to get your order of Philly noodles, baby. What's up, Al?
What's going on?
Yeah. Hey, what's poppin', baby?
The gentle giant returns.
Yeah.
The humble, gentle giant. Chili noodles is what they call me now.
Ooh, that's nice.
My fiance had made some chili. Over
How
the
long have you
weekend
guys been engaged, by the way, real quick?
3 years.
Okay, 3 years. That's a.
Oh, no. But
You guys should start a club together.
Four
me and
years.
BG.
Okay, there. Yeah,
Well,
there
I
we
mean,
go.
So the testament to this situation is that I had an ex with his son. You know what I mean? So it's more about timetables. Got to work for me and her.
Yeah, right.
First, you know what I mean? Hey, you making babies with this lady? At some point, if you pop the third, that's when you got to do it. That's when.
Okay, good. I'll keep that in mind.
That's your story, and you're sticking to it.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
I'm gonna stick to it. It's once, twice, and third. Yeah, three strikes, you're in. It's not out. You're in.
Hey, listen, but if you don't get moving pretty soon, I've been married 39 years. So
oh wow, okay.
You
Rob's
better
showing off. Congratulations. By the way, man.
Go ahead. Let's see if everybody combined here.
Well, let me tell you this. I'd hope that my heart would last that long being a Jets fan at this time and day and age. I may not even be 40-some years, dude. My ticker might explode by 60 the way they're going. You saw a Super Bowl.
Well, listen, the wonderful thing about being married so long is that you can start to count how many times your wife will say to you, "Why did I ever marry you?"
I have not gotten that one yet, so hopefully, that's not coming.
Got to tie the knot first.
That's a new wrinkle.
Then you'll start hearing. Yeah. Anyway,
all right.
let's talk football.
Yeah, let me. If I hear any more about Aaron Rodgers, if anyone saw last night's game, it's another game where he had to throw 4 touchdowns, and this time he lost because he wasn't playing Aaron Glenn as a coach. Because we should have won the first game.
Yeah.
And they just lost it. They're 3-3. We should almost be 3-3. He's a mediocre quarterback right now. It's everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. They're gonna get to the brunt of their schedule. They're gonna take some more losses. They're a fringe playoff team. Whoopity-doo. We won 5 games with him last week. Listen, no way Aaron Glenn and no way Woody Johnson should have set himself up for, could we win the Super Bowl? No. Who was he going to pass to? Besides Garrett Wilson. It's the same scenario over and over again. It's sickening. Now, the sad part is I'm not no guru of football, but watching highlights between Mendoza and Sellers, you can sell me on any of those quarterbacks not occurring in our team. Like, they are not good. They're not. They're okay. I can't do it.
Yeah, they're not generational quarterbacks.
No, they're not. It's the hype train's going to pump up Mendoza. Like,
so if you have the first pick and you really intend on a quarterback, maybe you trade out on that first pick.
I've been saying that. Thank you, Bob. I've been saying that. You need to grab that wide receiver out of Arizona State. So you have your 2. Mm-hmm. Your 2. Listen, Joe Burrow is not there. Stroud is not there. Caleb Williams is not there. Jaden Daniels is not there. I understand that certain types of coaches could unlock those type of players, but they still have to show greatness in college. If you look at the Oregon game with Mendoza, it is if that was the NFL talent, they would have intercepted him like 3 or 4 times.
Oh yeah, I watched that game. Yeah,
you have to really dominate at the college level to be considered, a one of a kind.
Yeah. And Sellers looks like a bad version of Justin Fields from college. I don't want that. Are you kidding me? The kid needs like 3 years. He needs to sit 2 or 3 years before he's anything. He's not Lamar Jackson. That's the thing between Fields and Jackson. Like, how we know he's such a great runner, Jackson gets compared to Vic because the arm is electric. He'll just rip it. Like, he could throw it 85 yards down the field, it feels like. He's got a cannon, and he has some type of anticipation to get rid of the ball when he needs to. Fields just doesn't have it, and if he hasn't shown it in how many years. He's got good legs. So at some point, you swallow the contract, and if the team was smart enough, you just make him a Taysom Hill. I mean, that worked out pretty well. And
not too shabby. Hey, by the way, real quick, Truman Dumel, baby, welcome back to the club.
And I know Pops could be watching, and I want to say this to Pops. I've been watching the Cowboys documentary. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, America's Team. Yeah, I've seen the first couple of episodes, but I haven't had a chance to just sit down and watch them all. Yeah.
Really dope. So this is kind of reminded me, obviously he's not Jimmy Johnson, but if you remember, they got rid of Herschel Walker, which was like, whoa, what is wrong with you guys? They got a fullback.
Great player on a shitty team. They were 1-15.
That's right.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then they had a quarterback. They had a really shitty season. They had a great wide receiver. kind of lays credence to this has been done before. And I was pretty pissed off about the situation what's going on with our season. But no matter what, we have to understand he's going to get almost a season and a half, no matter what the contract is. He's going to get that at least. He's probably going to get 20-something games where he has to provide some wins here. I mean, Dan Campbell didn't go 0-30. Like, you got to win at some point. So you'll get, I think, a couple here in the season, maybe 3. It could hurt your draft stock. But next season, he's just got to, in the first, 6 games versus these 6 games, he's got to at least go 3-3 or 2-4. You know what I mean? Next season.
But what did you think about putting Tyrod in to try to win the game last week?
As BG, how I felt at the Cowboy game, I looked at him and was like, "Oh, imagine Tyrod goes in," because we saw his helmet on his head. And no helmet on
that's
field.
what you
He's
and
like,
K-Brock were saying behind me. You're like, "Oh, is he warming up over there?" I'm like, "God, shut up! He's not warming up. Come on."
It's not going to happen. Like, the testament to them is that it's really not going to happen. It would have to be like in strength saying, "Dude, I can't keep calling plays like this." Like, it would be their consensus. I think the two of them coming together and saying, "Bro, we gotta."
Yeah, but I haven't played organized football. You guys, I know that you, Paul, played it in high school, and you did too, Philly. But can you really grab him on the sidelines, Justin Fields, grab him by the shoulders and say, "Throw the fucking ball."
You can.
Whoa, Bob!
Stop holding on to the ball. Come on. How many times do we have to tell you that? Or do you not do that because you destroy his confidence or take his mind off whatever he's really focused on? But it just seems to me, like any other player who comes off the field who screws up, you've got to be able to talk to him and tell him you're not doing what we told you to do. Now get out there and do what we told you to do.
Wait a second. Bob just swore. That's a historic moment.
Hey, J-E-T-S, Jets.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey,
Bob after dark.
That's backwards hat mentality now. I flipped it.
Okay. Yeah,
now we're talking. Now we're talking.
Did I say the F word?
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. There we
go.
It's
a good thing my wife was in the shower when I did.
Oh yeah, there you go. Hey now.
Hey, next person calling in, you better flip your hat backwards. Bob Curse, man. This is legendary stuff today. We're firing off. Let's go. Sideways Indy hat. I love it. Indy's gonna get that chili too. I got the
Alan doing his best, Bob's doing his best Alan impression. Good Lord, dropping a couple of bombs there.
I was doing a Parcells impression.
Shabbat shalom. We're going in out here, bro, in these streets. Throwing hot
Absolutely.
pastrami sandwiches. He's going crazy out here, dude.
Welcome to the sad person society.
Ooh, that sounds pretty good. It's got a ring to it.
The Jets have really scarred you, haven't they, Bob?
Yeah, it feels that way.
You're going off the deep end here.
And not just this year. Remember, it's only been let's say 69 to 2020.
It's that 56 years, give or take.
Yeah, I'm already getting ready for the 60th anniversary.
And that's the point that I wanted to make when I called in, Bob. We're all drinking from a very large glass of losing for years and years and years.
Yeah,
Aaron Glenn's only been doing this for 6 games. So you can't hold the last 15 years, or in your case, 50 years. In my case, 45 years, whatever. We can't hold that against Aaron Glenn.
But he had losing season. But he experienced.
He took over an Aaron Rodgers led team that only won 5 games. You're talking about the Aaron Rodgers Hall of Famer. This is the guy that was brought in to change the organization, and they only won 5 games with Aaron Rodgers. The team was that bad. The coaching was that bad. The culture was that bad. So you get rid of a Hall of Fame quarterback. We can all debate whether that was the right thing or the wrong thing. You bring in an entire new offensive or complete coaching staff. You lose a couple of free agents. You have one guy that retired, with CJ, who was the leader of the team. You have all these things, and you can't hold AG accountable for the last 15 years. And all you can do is say you took over a bad team, and it's going to take a little bit of time. And as Jets fans, we always say, wait till next year. That's as a Cubs fan, that's what we've always said. You know, we've said that for how many years, Bob? You know, that's a
But,
Cubs fan.
but Cub fans stole it from Brooklyn.
And you know, and so you saw some improvement last week. I was one that was screaming bench Fields at halftime. I mean, you know, Philly and I were on the phone for the entire second half of the game.
Is that the dude?
Yeah, it's DNY for life. There he is.
Oh, look at that
Hey,
Cap straight.
hey, when
Devin,
you
my
guys
man.
get on,
Well, welcome,
what's going
India.
on,
India
Indy?
got it. Welcome, but Indy. I got a question for you. Did you give credit to the way the defense played to Wilkes or to Glenn or to both?
I think that goes on Wilkes. Wilkes was getting the blame, and he's also going to get the credit for it. The special teams played well. They're going to get they got the blame for it, and now they're getting the credit for it. I think that's got to go on Wilkes. Whether that's coaching from AG down and saying, Wilkes, you've got to fix this, and Wilkes goes out and fixes it.
Yep.
I don't think I don't think you give all the credit to AG for the defense turnaround. If that was the case, they would just get rid of Wilkes, or they would have made a decision. Hey, AG is going to be calling all the plays, and that didn't happen. Wilkes still called the plays. The defense just finally executed the plays, which we've been talking about for weeks now. They finally executed. They finally did the things that they were supposed to do. You saw the communications better.
A new player came in. That's why. Jarvis Brownlee was saying he's not there. It's the same shit. That's the truth.
Ball out.
That's the truth. The player.
And let's not forget about starting Malachi Moore back there in the secondary. Look,
yeah, Tony Adams got benched in the middle of the game for Malachi Moore. Malachi Moore rode it the entire game.
And Tony Adams was the biggest problem on the communication side. Think about that.
Backside.
I was thinking about that, Indy, because I think Tony Adams was affecting Cisco. You know, I think Cisco was thinking, I got to cover more. I got to, cover this guy's back as well, and trying to do more rather than just focusing on what he's supposed to do, because he looked better as well. Malachi Moore is just an upgrade.
Which, by the way, real quick, just introduce him. DNY for life. Great to have you here on Boy Green Daily.
Yes.
Baby.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning,
Devin. Devin, when are you and I going to settle up on the 9-win?
Oh boy.
All right, boy.
It's not over yet. It's not over yet.
I'm not conceding, Bob. I'm an eternal optimist, and therefore I have to remain positive that I don't really think we're gonna have the first pick. To be honest, we're
gonna award you and give you a weekend with Alon.
Oh.
You know what? What? I could tolerate it.
No,
Alon just got. We're just gonna have to agree to disagree on a lot of things, but I'm sure we can find some common ground. I'm sure. I'm pretty sure.
Well, by the way, let's get a super chat in here from Badshaw. He says, we've been hoping for Justin Fields to throw bombs, but Bob is the one throwing around F-bombs.
Wow.
If that's all it takes to get the community to support Paul even more, I'll start dropping them left and right.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, good Lord. Okay.
Hey, Bob, I will say this though, Bob. Yeah. I'm gonna get your book. I feel like I asked for you to be positive, Bob, and you've been real positive, a lot more positive, even in the worst of times. So I truly appreciate that, Bob. So I will be getting that book. And somewhere in there, it's got to be 12 wins, something about 12 wins.
You can thank my wife, because my wife keeps reminding me that somebody said I needed to be more positive.
So
thank you, Mrs. Bob. I appreciate you.
Hey, I have a question, because I had to tune out for a couple of Jewish holidays this week. Did Glenn give the credit to Wilkes this week? Did it ever come up?
That's a good question.
I don't think he was asked about it this week, to be honest.
I think
he was not been asked. No. So, so he was not asked straight up about it, to be honest. So,
hey, real quick,
quarterback play overshadowed everything.
Well, that's true too. Go ahead, DIY for life.
So I just wanted to clarify something, because there's this misnomer about how Aaron Rodgers was treated, and I'm sick of talking about him. Last night I saw him showing up his players again on national television. Oh, but you can show them up, but like when you're at fault, never your fault. But anyhow, that weekend that he came down here, Bob, he had an event that he was planning to attend. That's why he came down to Jersey that weekend when he came and met with Aaron Glenn. And no one talks about that, but he had an event that he was hosting
coming
that
anyway,
he was a part of. Yep, that he was coming in anyway. So it wasn't like he wasn't going to be here and that the Jets brought him in. And I think that needs to be clarified because I know there's still some Jets fans that think, they just came in here and have him disrespected.
I retract my effing complaint against the Jets having him fly across the
Hey,
straight.
I got one comment to make.
That was
and then I'm
close.
gonna
Not
get off.
exactly. That was close.
Go ahead, Philly.
So the only thing Justin could have did that Aaron did last year that would have benefited the team for this year is if he would have pulled himself out of a game like Aaron Rodgers did early. We probably could have won last week. So I'm gonna leave right there.
Look at Indiana. Look at Indiana.
Let's be honest. We don't talk about that enough. The Jets are getting their ass kicked by Buffalo. Aaron rolls over to Ulbrich. Time to get that Tyrod guy in, huh? And then in the post-game press conference, he admits it, says, yeah, I tapped myself out. So he pulled his Anthony Richardson at the end of the game and went, nah, I'm pretty good. Let's let him clean up here. Like, we don't talk about that enough. Aaron Rodgers hit the old tap on the helmet.
Yep. Now Justin could have did that last week. It would have been it would have been the greatest thing he could have did. But
if Justin would have done that last week, Justin would never be starting again on this team. If he done that last week with how he played.
Would you be panicking for that though?
I would just go, honestly, I would go one or two things. I'm at this point right now. Like, I've conceded that my dreams of having the playoffs this year is just not going to happen. I've conceded that. I still don't think we're going to lose. Like, we're only going to win like 2 games.
An overall pick. Yeah.
We just don't do that. We go, even if it's at the last 4 games of the season, we'll win all 4 just to go bump ourselves from the possible first pick to being the 5th pick. Like, that's just what we do. That's the other side of it that nobody talks about. Like, we've never had the first pick in the NFL draft. Like, come on, that doesn't happen with us. Long ass time ago, 30 years ago.
We took Keyshawn.
Yeah, Keyshawn. Give me the goddamn ball, Keyshawn. But that was 30-some years ago.
Okay, the Arizona State wide receiver. I'm telling you, the kid's electric, bro.
Yeah,
he's not.
Keyshawn,
he is electric, bro.
Hey, Philly, I'm with you. I've been watching his highlights. I'm with you, bro. Crazy. I want him. Like, I want another weapon. And none of these. I don't want to reach for a quarterback. I agree. We need a quarterback. I'm not on here saying we don't need a quarterback. We need a quarterback. But damn, who are these kids looking coming out of college? If this was last year, yeah, we got a lot of options to look at. But like this year, oh my gosh, like we're gonna be reaching. I think what I would like to see done, and I don't hear anyone talking about this, but I would like to draft, Drew Allard from Penn State in like the 2nd round because he got a bum leg. So I don't think he's gonna go in the 1st round. So if we could get him,
so get him to develop. That might not.
Just have him sit there, and then we get to build a team. So we have the receivers. Let's get the receivers. Let's shore up all the other stuff, and then
like the
bring him in.
Yeah, let's see. Philly, I know you got to go, but wanted to give you a salute, brother. So thank you, pal. All right, there he is.
And I want to shout out to Badshaw too, because happy anniversary to him, and that probably explains the crotch shot right at the very beginning. He's like, "Oh, great, not talking to the wife, I'm talking to."
Yeah. Sorry, I called the wrong thing here. Sorry, Laura.
Right. Yeah. So shout out to Badshaw for getting that correct.
Devin, you're talking about Jordan Tyson.
Yeah, that's a kid. That's a receiver. That's a receiver, I guess. The Arizona kid, wherever he's from. Yeah.
Dude,
so
or if not him, I just need a 6'5". I want a prototypical. I want a 6'5" receiver, even if he's not like super. I'm not caught up in this whole speed situation. How's Tet working out?
Very good. He looks good.
What's the name from Tampa that's had a 1,000-yard every season?
Mike Evans
has 1,000-yard every season and ran a 4.5 40. Come on, man, get off the speed crap. I don't care about your t-shirts and shorts. Can you play ball? Can you go up and high point the ball? Can you catch it? Do you catch with your hands? These are the things that are important. Are you a good route runner? These are the important things. Not how fast you run. We got Arian Smith, who was one of the fastest dude at the combine. Don't even know how to use them. So we need to be able to catch the ball. But I appreciate you guys letting me on here. Indy, I love you, bro. Man, I love you too, Bob. Right. I love everybody in this community, man. You guys are just awesome, man. And even though we suck, I'm still on here, and we still suffer together. So I love that.
Damn straight. Appreciate
Misery
you,
loves
Devin.
company, brother.
Thanks, brother. Great.
It's a great support community.
That it is. That it is.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
So
thanks, brother.
Yes. Appreciate you. Good seeing you, Bob.
You got any
Yeah.
positive thoughts about Sunday?
Oh, absolutely. I'm positive right up until kickoff.
There we
You
go.
know, that's that I want to see the defense play. I want to see if that was a fluke,
Right.
or if this is what we're going to be. I want to see the special teams if that was a fluke, or if this is what we're going to be. This is the big test for me. I want to see if we can sustain what we've. I want to see. It was the 2 penalties in last week's game a fluke, and we go back to the
Correct,
9 or 10 penalties, or did AG finally fix it? I mean, we continue to say, hey, we've got all these problems. The first 5 games, it was penalties, it was turnovers, it was every aspect of the game wasn't well. So he's starting to fix the things. I don't expect him to fix it overnight, but he said he was going to fix the penalties. We had to. The defense was going to get better. They did. The special teams, now we're just waiting on that offense to click.
That's it.
Can Justin Fields do it? I don't know. After watching him against Buffalo and then turn around and watching him last week, you can't have 2 of those games. Aaron Rodgers had 1 game last week or last year where he took his game out and he just had a horrible game. We're 6 games into it. He's 25% of his games have just been horrible.
Well, and he's had 2 different problems in those 2 games you pointed out. But I guess my question is, the defensive players got together and looked each other in the face and said, let's stop this nonsense. But the offense, as far as we know, didn't have a meeting of their own.
And the one thing I didn't like about Aaron Glenn's, his reasoning for not pulling him out or whatever, you want to destroy confidence. If you've ever played in any kind of organized sports, if a guy's playing really bad, continuing to allow him to play just that, through the entire game, that does just as much or more damage than if you just pull him out and allow him to regroup for the next week, because his confidence just continued to go down and go down and go down. If he would have sat on that sidelines last week, even if we would have lost with Tyrod, and Fields went out with only 6 sacks instead of 9. I think it's a double-edged sword. You can destroy a young quarterback's confidence by pulling him out. Fields is not a young quarterback. Yeah. He's been in the league. This is his 5th year.
Yep.
So you're not at that point by pulling him and saying, "Hey, you're just not having a good game today. You're starter. You can be the starter next week. We'll work on it. We got a week." But you just don't have it today.
You got to correct the mistakes that he's making, and you have to see that he's capable of making at least some of those changes.
But I think
if not, but just leaving him in probably did more damage than pulling him out. So I was all for just putting Tyrod in there and letting him finish the game. But that just didn't happen. And I think that and Fields just continued to do, continued to take a beating, to take the sacks and make the same mistakes he was making in the first half. And that probably did more damage to him than if AG would have pulled him out. But anyway, thanks guys. Always good to see you guys.
There he is, Indy, joining us here on the show. We have another super chat coming in. Let me get this in from Truman Dumel.
Wow.
Yeah, I know he's a big fan of this guy, Golden Domer. Audric Esteem is a free agent. Should we sign him to our active roster? Also, Mr. Letterer, who should we trade for, best case scenario? So I'll answer the Audric one first. Yes, especially with the potential of Breece Hall. If you trade Breece Hall, and even if you don't, because Braylon Allen's not in, they should always be looking at running back depth. So Audric Esteem is definitely a player they should look at. He is a straight-up free agent now.
I'm unfamiliar with him. Who is he?
Yeah, so he is a second-year player. He was drafted in the 5th round by the Denver Broncos last year, and he did okay. He just had whatever statistics. He had 76 carries for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. Again, he's a former Notre Dame product. He's a New York guy who was born in New York, and this year he spent some offseason time with the Philadelphia Eagles, but he didn't really get a chance to do anything, and now he's a straight-up free agent. So could be some depth at the
They're going to trade Breece Hall. They better have some options.
100%. So that one makes a lot of sense. And then you have the second part here, Bob. Who should we trade for? Best case scenario.
A coach.
Is that available? You can make coaching trades.
Well, if if Pittsburgh doesn't make the playoffs,
Okay.
they may get rid of Tomlin. And look at Harbaugh. Although I don't think that he's going anywhere from Baltimore, because I think
Probably not.
When he gets his quarterback back, things will settle down and he'll get himself at least into the playoffs.
Right.
Who football is not like other sports where there are obviously guys who spout off about, I don't want to play here anymore, or I want to go play in New York or whatever. So that's not an easy thing to trade for, and you don't have many trades in the NFL either. The NFL,
we'll see. Let's see if there's been some whispers that the Jets will look for more of those sort of Jarvis Brownlee trades where you get a young player on a low risk trade where you don't have to give up a whole heck of a lot. So let's keep an eye out for that at the deadline as well.
Hey, our rhinovirus expert just walked into the room. Is there anything else you can tell us about rhinovirus, Lynn? Because Paul has rhinovirus thanks to his children.
Yeah.
He said his son got a cold, and now he has happily and freely passed it on to everybody else in the family.
That he has.
Yep. Okay, so we know everything that we're going to learn about.
Okay, all right. Well, fair enough. Well, I want to give another shout out to the 400 people out there. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. Appreciate everybody tuning into the show. Bob, this was a hell of a show, a good one.
Well, good. I'm glad we had a good one even after we got past the technical difficulties. And
right. That's right.
I don't know. I have an optimistic feeling about Sunday. One of these Sundays, we're just going to completely shock ourselves.
And I can't wait.
And the league.
That's going to be the euphoria of getting that first win, the jubilation. Us
going to the break 1-7 instead of 0-8.
Yeah, it's just going to be so bright for that moment when we get that win. And then maybe we could turn it into something else. So I think Indy's right. Sunday is going to be a truth-telling game. What's fact or fiction? The defense finally showing up last week. Does that continue? The special teams, does that continue? Justin Fields struggling. Does he bounce back? Does Aaron Glenn avoid some of those coaching malpractices? That'll be another key.
By the way, how's your dad feeling about the Cowboys now?
That's a good question. We'll have to ask him. I think he's on the show tomorrow. So I'll have to gauge his temperature on that. You guys feel free to light up the old mailbag with all those kind of questions. I'd love to hear from him.
Well, listen, have a great weekend and feel better. That's probably most important.
Yeah, of
and
course.
My wife says the same. She hopes you feel better.
Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate that.
And we shall see what we shall see. But, again, let's just get a good defensive effort on Sunday and a good effort from special teams. And let's just do enough offensively to win one. Because Carolina is there for the pickings.
I think so, too. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Again, like the video, hit subscribe. We'll see you next time.